Internet. What up, Internet? Welcome to part 2 of building Maboo Studios. Buckle up tight. It's gonna be a wackadoodle ride. Yeah, that's the definition of craft. Making things by hand, you know what I'm saying? Here we are building the Fishtank Wall for Maboo Studios. It's getting, this is back when it was getting built. Those of you that know out there, it's already been built. But you can see from the structure, from the construction here, it's mostly 2x6, 2x4s, and then completely skinned in 3/4 inch plywood that has been routed out every single hole to be exactly a, you know, basically the tightest fit that could be possible. So this whole thing runs 12 feet from one end to the other end, and so, you know, that's 3 full sheets of plywood, 8 foot tall. So for the least amount of joints in this, this was the best way to do it, mainly because we want the vertical grain of the vertical of the stand, the grain running vertical, and all. If you notice, all the doors, the grain runs horizontal. You notice some of the cutouts that I did. I actually did end up rough cutting most of them, is how I typically do it, but you'll notice on a couple of them I had to do it all in one cut with the router, which is not typically the way that I do it, but I needed those pieces of wood for a different part of the project later down the road, so I had to do them that way. Don't recommend that. It was a little harebrained trying to save those pieces. They were literally about an inch big enough for what I needed them later on, but worked out pretty well. This whole sink area down here had to get redone, mainly because everything was just sitting on the floor. So everything is all cleaned up now and sitting level into the cabinets and attached up correctly, and actually water sealed behind it. You guys can notice that the catch basin underneath the sink actually is an old aquarium, so this does have a tie-in to aquariums out there and you know, aquariumizing type stuff. I actually made the door for underneath here similar to how I make it for a fish tank stand, so it actually just hangs on here and holds tight with a couple of magnets. You know, it's not perfectly set in this video because none of the trim pieces are on yet, but I did this just the same way that I do an aquarium stand door. So it's pretty nice. You just pop it off and set it out of the way in case you need to do anything under the sink. You got a lot of access area under there. You guys will notice in the real fish talk there's a big mantle in the background that holds most of the art and things along those lines, and like the lava lamp and all that kind of stuff. Here's a bit of the construction of that. It's French cleated to the wall, and it is it's made out of multiple pieces, so it actually is a modular unit. And you guys can see that this is me actually attaching a lot of the stonework onto it. A lot of fun putting this stonework on here. A really easy to use product. I think it's well, I don't know what it's called, but it's a really easy to use product, whatever it was. I don't know who makes it, so it doesn't really matter at this point, but you can find it at your local stores. Here is the beginning of the table build, which I'm actually, it's actually going to be in part 3, the finish of it, but, you know, this is actually the beginning of getting everything pocketed together and put together. This is a 12 by 2 inch dimensional lumber cedar is what it's made out of, is actually the product that we're using here. It's obviously local cedar to Western Washington, which is where we're from. It's nice and dried, actually kiln dried cedar, so it actually will hold up nice and straight and everything over the years. We're using a Craig jig here to actually put in all the pocket, you know, for the pocket screws, you know, actually cutting all those in there. You can see this actually took a long time. We have to put a, because these are 8 foot long, so each board gets 12 screws in each side. So it takes a little while to get this all out, but I wanted to give you guys some action shots of getting this table made and just give you an idea of how this goes. There, like I said, there'll be a final video of all of the finish work that goes into this, but this is basically a lot of the work that goes into assembling it at the beginning and putting it all to getting it ready to go. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this table. It took quite a while to get it built, and I'm pretty excited for it, and I happen to like it quite a bit. We'll be building some more tables for it, but for now, hopefully that's a solid update. I'll give you guys an idea of a lot of the work that went into building my Boost Studios. I'll be hollering at you later, like on the live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or on Real Fish Talk on Tuesday and Thursday. Later.